Hey guys, Kenny with First Coast Metal here. I'm here with Alan. He's the rhythm guitarist, right, or the lead guitarist? I keep
Rhythm.
okay,
Rhythm.
rhythm guitarist for southpaw FLHC, which is Florida hardcore. Sorry, it's a tongue twister. So the first question I have for you is, let's see, being a hardcore band in Jacksonville. What was it like from anything else that you did, like from Adversaries to the transition to Southpaw?
So before Adversaries, I was in a like metalcore, hardcore band called Words in Red years ago. It's probably close to 12 to 14 years ago. But we were a band for close to 10 years. And, you know, we all lived in Jack's Beach and stuff. And those guys are great to this day. I still love those dudes. And so, like, I've always grew up playing heavy music and most of the guys, you know, as well. But as far as my transition from Adversaries to Southpaw, so I played heavy music for a very long time and then, you know, joined Adversaries and playing music again with those dudes. You know, we were like tiptoeing on some of like the spectrum of playing some heavy stuff. And it just like ignited that flame in me again. And I was just like dying to do like heavy stuff again.
Yeah.
And I had ran across Darren. I was working at Tire Kingdom at the time and ran across him. And he was like growing up, dude, he was like literally one of the best vocalists I've ever met in my life. Like this dude's range was from crazy low to crazy high. Like this dude could just do any vocal style. And we started reconnecting. He came in to get service done on his car. And, you know, long story short, we're like, yo, let's do like, we joked around about having like, cause we were both dads now and things like that. So we were like, let's do like a dad core band, man. We'll just sing about mowing the yard and being the dad, you know.
Walking
and yeah, just crazy fun stuff. And quickly realized like when we were in like starting to write music, like this has some really good potential to like be awesome. Like rather than let's scrap the joke thing and let's take it serious and let's do something for real. So, you know, we did that. And I mean, technically I'm still in Adversaries and Adversaries is still going. And we just, all of us don't really have the time to dedicate to it too often. So not really like a hard transition. It was, you know, Southpaw started growing more traction and Adversaries was doing less and less. So it was actually a very, you know, very smooth transition to go, you know, head on with Southpaw a lot more. So it's been very easy and been great.
Yeah. Every time I see you guys, you always deliver, man. So
I appreciate it.
yeah. Which bands influenced you to become a rhythm guitarist?
So
I know there's a lot.
yeah. So as far as like my influences as a guitar player growing up, you know, being here in Jacksonville, I feel like it might be kind of cliche to say, you know, oh, it's Leonard Skinner, but to be honest with you, like my all-time favorite band to this day right now is Leonard Skinner. And yeah. So like Leonard Skinner is my favorite band of all time. And, you know, those guitar players in that band, man, were just amazing at their craft. And,
virtuosos.
Yeah. And for me to this day, still, I get blown away just by listening to the same songs that came out in the 70s and 80s. And I'm just like, these guys were amazing.
Yeah, man.
You know, so they were definitely a heavy influence for me. You know, for more modern to this day era music, I would say, you know, I was very influenced by a lot of Azalea Dying riffs and like some of their melodies and stuff and their guitar playing when I was growing up. When I first heard them, it was just like, oh my God, like I still love Azalea Dying to this day. They're such an amazing band. And but their rhythmic, not so much the lead style, because there's definitely a significance between rhythm and lead and Azalea Dying, but their rhythmic sections is just like top notch, man. Super tight, super punchy. I love that. And then and more of like the hardcore-esque style. I would definitely say Terror is probably
Yeah,
a very
Terror too. Like every time you guys are like right on point with Terror, because I remember that show. It was like Rhythm of Fear. You guys and like was
oh at Underbelly.
yeah. Oh my god, man!
So yeah, I take the rhythmic section of Terror, and I try to like join all my influences as far as that goes. I even take have some Hatebreed influence and
yeah.
things like that. And I try to like when we as a band write music, we try to incorporate as much of our different influences as we can in songs and things like that. So you'll hear songs that have real punchy rhythmic breakdowns in it, and then but you'll also get the very fast upbeat style of like Terror and Hatebreed and things like that. So we have like a really good blend as far as that goes. But yeah, those are definitely my I would say guitar influences in my life.
So the next question I have for you is, what made you want to get into music?
So definitely from a very young age I started playing. So some people know, some people don't know, but I play more than just guitar. I play guitar, bass, drums, piano, sing. I can read music, write music. But I got into music. I got my first instrument when I was 9 years old, and I got drums. But I also grew up with my mom, who plays tons of instruments and was in bands her whole life. So I grew up going to like her band practices and stuff. And, and for me, that was like a huge influence on my life, because that was so inspiring and so motivating. I'm like, oh my God, those dudes, those are the guys I want to be, one day. And so it was more or less growing up with, sorry. It was more or less growing up with my mom playing music and her being in bands and stuff. And so that definitely influenced me to get into music. And I would play music with her and learn some of her gospel bluegrass stuff that she liked doing and things like that. And I just found my own path and went that way.
Yeah, that's what it's about, man. And then you just kind of like evolve after a while,
Mm-hmm.
So, I was just curious, man. Do you have any promotions coming up that you would like to share? That you have venue-wise coming up for concerts?
So we do have a few things going on. April 7th, we have a show at 1904 with the guys here in town. As friends of ours, Losing Daylight is playing.
Oh yeah, I love
and
it.
then
Josh Graves.
Yep, and then we've got also, who else is playing that? Blink 180 Deuce. They're like a Blink 182 tribute band.
Yeah, I saw that.
I seen them a while back last year, some point, and they were absolutely amazing. These dudes, and I was like, "Yo, I would love to have you guys, play a show with us." I know it's not the same genre, but dude, everybody loves Blink 182, and these dudes crushed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool because you're gonna have like all these hardcore bands and metal bands, and then you're gonna have like this Blink 182 band that's gonna open up the show, but it's gonna be like great sing-alongs. And I told them that they were only allowed to play old Blink, like nothing newer than Dude Ranch, which is like 90s, So so they're gonna play nothing but old Blink 182, and it's gonna be like, they're gonna have their own set. They're gonna have 30 minutes to play like a Blink 182 set, man. It's gonna be dope. So they're playing, and then we've got some friends on tour in Stay Lost, and they're a hardcore band, friends of ours from Alabama, and then they're on tour with Still Here from Tennessee. So that'll be a really fun show, April 7th at 1904, and then we've got July 29th. We're going down to Tampa to play with a couple friends. There's another hardcore band called Fortitude from Daytona. And then Highest Crown, they're from like South Florida. They're good friends of ours, are coming up to play the show. And then there will be a couple locals on that. After that, we've got, we haven't really announced it yet, but we're going on tour in June. And so that's going to be like a 2-week tour that we're doing. Aside from that, we don't have anything else planned, because after that, by that time, the new album will be coming out and stuff.
Oh yeah, man. Can't wait for that. I'll definitely.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the recording. So the next question I have for you is, what was your favorite music video to make?
So my favorite music video that I think I've ever made is probably our newest one for Southpaw Total War.
Yeah.
Just because there was so many cool elements that we brought in on this video. You know, we had like Limelight Car Club come out with like the lowriders that we had in the background.
Yeah.
And we shot it at my brother's garage called Goodfellas Garage. It's like his he does custom car builds and things like that out there. And so we're able to use like his garage and like his parking lot area, and then we are also able to use his old ass like, I want to say it's like 60 something Cadillac. It's like one of so many. It's like black on black on black, black top, black interior, black paint. So like that's also the single artwork is my brother's Cadillac is what is on there. But just between that and the way we shot it and how we did it and things like that, it was just, I think Total War has definitely been my favorite. I mean, it's hard to say my absolute favorite is that, because I've really enjoyed shooting all of our music videos.
Yeah.
I mean, truth be told, was cool. Every single one that we've shot has had a different element,
Like
because of whether it's backgrounds or circumstances or what the way we did it or how it was. Each one has been so fun. Like, you know, and truth be told, we did it literally in the studio as we're recording. He's filming us.
Yeah.
And then we went out in the parking lot and just did live shots of us playing pogs and smoking and chilling out there, and it was just like literally in the parking lot of the studio.
Yeah.
And then like, whereas the other 4 videos that we did for our first EP was like a whole movie. If you watch them back to back to back to back, it's one whole movie that we shot. So that it's a whole sequence of you watch each one, and if you watch them in order, you see a whole story unfold between all 4. And that was a lot of trying to figure out how we're going to get the storyline and how it's going to work. And like, my son is in like 1 or 2 of those as like the kid that's in the video. And so, I mean, every single video we shot has been absolutely awesome in one aspect or another. But I would say, I think Total War is my favorite as far as what is portrayed in the video with the lowriders and the scenery and like where we're at and things like that. So it's been a lot of fun.